And a very warm welcome. Actually, no, scratch that. What a nice day here in Fuji. I mean, yesterday it was very snowy, but we did manage to see some great racing from splits A and B. But today, for day 2, we are going to be welcoming the Creators Race and Split C. But one of the races will be the focus for this stream. And then again, welcome everyone to Fuji for round 1 of the Holotype World Series, and also the colorized Harmony Fuji 5 Hours Creators Race, where basically we'll be pitting 31 cars in a non-points paying race, an invitational race of sorts, for them to race just for funsies or for experience or for track time if you're a Split C driver here in Fuji Speedway. But anyways, let's take a look into the track map here as we want to get ourselves acquainted to the track once again. 4.65 kilometers is the length of Fuji Speedway, 16 turns in total. Race distance for the Creators Race will be at around 100 kilometers, so only 22 laps will be the name of the game. And looking at the lap record here, while I do say that we could do a 1:30.042, we could do 1:29s as what we've seen in splits A and B in very cold conditions. Well, it's almost freezing temperature of sorts, but we'll get along. So let's move on into the spotter sky actually for the Creators Race. And right now I do want to notice here that the regloss cars are taking a break as they're not listed in the in the Creators Race. But the ones that will be joining in from all 3 splits will be Hofumi from Tokino Sora, Callan Gibbons for Roboco, Hoshimachi Suisei's Daniel Barger alongside Isakaji Mikolev for Sakuramiko. And then we have Hochizuno Ryo for Akiri Ayame, with Ozora Subaru's Rim Olgor being the Gen 2 drivers. Aski, of course, also joining in from Gen 0 with Crystal Salman. And then for the for basically the other entries here, we also have Jake Goodwin for Okami Mio, and then we have Daniel Goyana for Sara Pecora, and then we have Sobyang Un for Sharanoi Flair, Lexi Bowen for Shirogane Noel, and then we have Lawrence Ritchie for Hosha Marine with Mama Cashew, Jeff Rohan joining in from Gen 4, representing Watami and Toro respectively. And then in the ID side, so the first 2 will be Hoshinova Muna and Irony 15, represented by Hino Chitai and Dan Evans. Masaki Reza will be joining in from Gen 5 for Momosuzu Nene. And from in Gen 1, it will be Joshua Zurid and Corey Rico Mendez for representing Mori Calliope and Takana Shikara. Crazy Oli will be also in this race for, and then she was represented by Dawn Elise. And then from EN2, it would be Sven Jensen for Iris. And then Hako's Bales, represented by Liam Kai. And then in Holox, it will be Tomoyuki Aoki for Takani Louis, and then Joshua Sahi for Hakui Koyori. And then in ID Gen 3, we have Javier Lusby for Vesha Zeta and Hanari Miyuki for Kobakanaeru. And then with the rest of the field being joined by the Advent drivers, Hazik Yazid, the Split A winner here in Fuji yesterday, for Hatsuri Novella, Marcel Reza, who's finished on the podium in 3rd place for Koseki Biju in Split A, Ryan Kagawa and Nijimi-chan finishing inside the top 10 for Nerissa Riverakov and not Thomas Ferreira. Thomas Ferreira didn't finish inside the top 15, but yeah, in other cases, Thomas Ferreira representing Fuwa Biscard and Nijimi-chan representing Bokoko Biscard. Now, with that being said, we do have a bit of a surprise here in the commentary, as I am just going to double check on the entry and why it is very, very inconsistent here right now, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, we would like to welcome the 2 commentators who will be joining in for the Split B or rather the Creators Race and Split C commentary, on which it will be the likes of Roboco driver Callan Gibbons and Shirogane Noel driver Lexi Bowen. So welcome, you 2.
Good morning. I hope you're all doing well today. Been 2 years since I've been in here, and obviously back commentating in the GT. So prototypes relatively new. Looking forward to a new dynamic of racing.
Yeah,
yes,
and
indeed. Good morning. It is great to be back. It's been a long time for me as well. It's being in this commentary group. So looking forward to having a look at these holotype cars getting around.
So I am gonna do a bit of an adjustment because I mistakenly put one driver over the other. So it's not actually Alson Tanarao. I mistakenly put Alson Tanarao on the practice grid, but now I corrected it to Crystal Salme, and now we're gonna get this qualifying session underway once these cars have loaded. So Fuji Speedway is a very, very nice track here. Of course, we've been racing here in Fuji Speedway for these fast races. Of course, we race at Fuji with different regulations. I mean, in 2022 we raced with Holo GT3, and then 2023 to 2024 the showpiece race was run under Formula Holotype, and of course for this year onwards we'll be using the LMP2 inspired Holotype cars. So based on what I've seen in splits A and B, we got to see some close racing action and basically a variety of race paces that we could be seeing. So and would like to know about how the creators race would go given the shorter race distance.
Yeah, so obviously like a shorter format, necessarily about 100 kilometers. So it's going to be quick and fast. People want to make up positions very quickly. There's not really much time to settle about, so it's really going to be action-packed throughout.
Lexi?
Yeah, definitely. The shorter race distance is going to make it very exciting indeed, and there won't need to be as many pit stops we'll need to be seeing as we'll likely see in the Split C race later in the day as we start the session here for the Creators Race.
So as we're about to get this qualifying session here, we're going to be previewing some of the drivers' fortunes. One of which being Ho Fu-mi, who didn't make the CO series after he was overtaken by Maverick Duciem in the last stages of the Split B Holo GT3 race here in Fuji. And of course, Fumi looking to make amends after his non-CO qualification for the Tokino Sora car, which is now renumbered to the number 36 since the end of the Holo GT3 race. And as we're just going to roll through the whole commentary thing here, so again, I just want to remind everyone that it is going to be I'm going to take a bit of a break here in commentary, as I'm mostly just going to let Gibbo and Lexi take over the commentary duties. I will be commentating on the most important parts, but for other mundane parts, I'll let Gibbo and Lexi do the job done. So you two?
Yeah, so yep, just us two. Obviously for qualifying a short 5-minute session, we're already like 2 minutes into it. We've got on board with Jensen, getting ready to start the first lap here. So not a lot of time, probably about like say what 1 to 2 hot laps will get in. So you need to warm up those tires very quickly. So hopefully we can stay on board here for this first 5 laps, rounding the final corner on what is a very, very long front straight. Probably one of the longest, if not the longest, like main straight on a permanent race circuit. So good time to kick back, relax a bit, and get ready for the hard break in zone 2 and 1s. A couple of cars still coming out the pits, but not going to beat them there. 308 kilometers in just before the first braking zone. So obviously very much faster than the GT types we're used to. So we're already heading into turn 3. So the fast left-hander here. Doing the long right-hander to full 100R. So obviously these LP2 cars more downforce dependent, so you can take the corners a lot more quicker. Already we're at the hairpin of a hard braking zone, and then into the next fast right-hander at 300R. So first 2 sectors are sort of more high speed, less technical. You can use the downforce of the car to get there, but then we reach into sector 3, it's a bit more technical. So hard braking zone into Dunlop corner, a couple of left rights here and there, a couple of low speed chicanes. So downforce not as good here, but so you have to rely a bit on mechanical grip, but still seems to be a tidy lap so far. A couple of cars out in front, but doesn't seem to be catching them, so I don't think we'll be impeded. So it should be a clean lap here as we enter the penultimate corner into the final braking. Now it takes a wide approach in, doesn't really grab the apex, so it could have been a bit of car positioning, but obviously good banker lap here. We'll have time for another lap before the end of qualifying, so let's see what we get here. 1 minute 30.3 to beat. What are we going to have here? 1 minute 30.2. Okay, pole. Never mind. Actually, decent, pretty good lap so far. Let's see what the others can do.
Yeah, so far a very good lap there by Sven Jensen there, taking the provisional top spot, or well, was in the provisional top spot before we had Goodwin and Kashui take over in first and second. Delacour moving up into fourth with that 133.
Just wanted to double check here. Actually, that is actually not the driver that we're going to be looking for. Actually, because I am checking if there is going to be a duplicate car. Because yes, there is actually a duplicate car. Because for some reason I am feeling like I'm missing an entry here. But I know that I replaced Antara with an ASCII driver. So right now, Crystal Salman will most likely qualify in well, 9th place. Everyone will move up a grade as it stands. So this Lillian Delacour entry is most likely just a dummy, as I am going to see if I could remedy this issue after we finish this qualifying session. So that's going to be a big oopsie, but for now I just wanted to report everyone here. Once we're coming into the final stages of the qualifying session here, Daniel Borger will be leading the field here as it stands right now, as Joshua Zurich crosses the line in third, Mi Chan in second, Miyuki fourth, Fumi fifth, and as Sven Jensen once again.
Yeah, once again, very good lap. Now into the 20s. We've got a couple in the 29s now, so obviously hitting that lap record already.
What a lap from Goodwin. 29.5. That's really quick. Absolutely set in stone right now for that pole position, barring any major improvements from anyone else. Because yeah, Beyond only can only get 2/10 off, so that is a really good lap time from Goodwin.
And also just wanted to remind everyone, just wanted to double check here. Apologies for the slight interruption. Salman and Miyuki now gets up into second and fourth. Thomas Ferreira trying to make up for his split A woes is now into ninth. And a new pole sitter. Wow, Shaki Freza.
Just keep getting quicker and quicker. Like, we're probably not going to have a 28 today, 4 attempts. That would be, big margin to improve on. But as the final drivers are heading through now, there's not too many threats. Yeah, I'll give it so 4 attempts ahead. Actually, never mind, good one. 900s behind, so there's still a lot to play for here.
And also just a bit of a double. I just want to give an update here about Dan Evans though in 6th place, as we're just wanted to remind everyone here that once I'm going to run through the starting lineup here. For this Lillian Delacour car, the car will most likely be a dummy entry, as I'm going to probably restart the entire session for me to try to recalibrate the entries. But for now, we are just going to spend some time in the most likely the qualifying results here. Just wanted to show this on to everyone's screen just to make sure everyone has been able to see what's going on. And for that, I'm going to move into intermission for a while. The start of the race is going to be slightly delayed. So what a nice qualifying session we had. It was a surprise get up there from Shakif Reza, and then Jake Goodwin is going to be lining up alongside. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so obviously a quick and fast qualifying session, not many laps in there, but still a good amount of action. It was just like improvements after improvements from the field. They just seemed to get to grips with it very quickly, and they did it at the right time. So very close field there. So only obviously a few hundreds in the top drivers, and only less than a couple of seconds down throughout. So it should be some close racing.
Yeah, fully agree with that, Gibbo. Yeah, I mean, Fuji Speedway is very tricky track to get right, especially in that last sector. So seeing how close the times were between the drivers is, it's setting up what should be a very exciting 22-lap race ahead.
All right, so I'm going to double check on the starting lineup here as we speak. So I just wanted to remind myself on who qualifies where. Just wanted to also point out that remember, the creators race is essentially just a invitational race, so no points are going to be offered here, but I do notice some consistent performance here. Now, while we are waiting for the grid to fully materialize, I do want to point out that Shakib Reza did a pretty decent race though in Split A. He finished inside the top 10. Jay Goodwin is looking to race in Split C later today. Nichimi-chan has done pretty well though in finishing inside the top 10 in Split A. Christopher Salman as well. He finished inside the top 5. So I'm gonna try to know both of your opinions here as a race here. I mean, Split A and B have already raced, so they're just gonna be racing for fun. So how important this is would it be for Split C drivers?
Yeah, so for Split C, it would be like sort of like almost a pseudo rehearsal for their main race. Obviously shorter, so strategy not playing too much into it, but just a good chance to hone in their racecraft, get a good idea of how other drivers will perform on track, and hopefully keep themselves clean for the main race.
Yeah, that's pretty much the entirety of what it will be for these Split C drivers. It gives them an opportunity to practice their racing skills on this circuit ahead of time before the main event of the 270 kilometers or however long it is for their Split C race coming up, and that's where the points will matter. So they have to be performing at their best when that comes around.
All right. So I noticed here that the Lillian Delacour car, the Lillian Delacour dummy driver, most likely everyone will be moving up position here from Hoshizono Rio, who did qualify 16. He will be moving up to 15, and the rest of the drivers will also move a position, which will leave Althusser and Tanarao to qualify at the back of the grid. Just wanted to double check. Hofumi and then Danila Goyena will also be joining in midfield, and then after that we have Lorenzo Ricci qualifying in 19th. Also, just wanted to share a bit of a fun fact here. Callum Gibbons qualifying in 20th, and Lexi Bowen qualifying in 8th.
Not as optimal, but still a bit of time to make my way back up.
Yeah, hopefully we see your car move up a little bit, but yeah, no, top 10 in qualifying, given how many of those cars are out there, it's a good place to start. It's just a bit of a fun race, so just getting acclimatized to the series, to the cars, and yeah, it should be all the more helpful for future events.
And also, I just realized there, since the entirety of Advent will also be joining, I also noticed that myself qualifying in the back. I mean, if you look at the recent results from the Shazad Reza car in Split A, I mean, if you look at the Split A results on the podium alone, I do want to point out that I did qualify pretty decently inside the top 5, missed out on a few positions, but then I was bang on the strategy, and that's why I qualified in essentially that's why I managed to finish in second. So I've done much of the points run here, so there's really not many reasons to just make pointless pushes. I'm just gonna if I were anyone here, I'm just going to take it easy and chill, as I am just going to double check on a few more things here. All right, so the rest of the field here, starting at the back, Don Elise, and then Ryan Kagawa, and then Liam Kai, who qualified 31st on that race, but of course he's not going to start last, as Al Santara will actually start last. So with that being said, we are going to officially properly start the race again. We apologize for the slight hiccup there. I was checking on the spotters guide to see if there was anything missing, and I did notice that they didn't properly catch Althusser and Tanarao. So again, we'd like to apologize for that one. We'll correct that later on. But whatever the case is, the cars are now starting to load once again here in Fuji for this 22-lap race. And then we will take the time to introduce everyone to the starting lineup here for the creators race. Now, I would want to ask one more question here before we get to the starting lineup here. Fuji being cold and all that stuff, would you prefer the undercut strategy or the overcut strategy if you were to pit?
Maybe the overcut strategy. So if you're coming out on cold ties, and I believe these holotypes may not have tire warmers, or they are tire warmers. So you might have to correct me on that. But especially if they don't have tire warmers, you're going to come out stone cold tires. You're going to be crawling for the first lap, and those that are overcutting, their tires are all good. They're up to temperature. They can go at full speed and potentially jump you in the bits.
Lexi?
Yeah, I'm in agreement, with how cold it's been at Fuji throughout the weekend of racing we've had. The overcut would definitely be the preferred strategy, just because you have that tire temperature still in there, you can still push on, whereas coming straight out of the pits, you have to take the time to warm up those tires, and you're probably not going to get them warmed up until you get around to the hairpin at turn 6.
Alright, so with that being said, let's not waste too much time, as we are now going to introduce everyone to the starting lineup here. So anyways, welcome back everyone to Fuji, as we're going to officially start the race here. So Mama Shakir Reza will start on pole position for Momosuzu Nene, with Jay Goodwin second for Okami Mio, Nichi Michan third for Bokoko Bisco, with Crystal Salman fourth for ASCII. So Byung-eun starts fifth for Shiranui Flair, with Dan Evans sixth for Irene 15, Hanari Miyuki seventh for Kobo Kaneru, with Lexi Bowen eighth, Sven Jensen ninth for Iris, with Isakaji Mikolev 10th for Sakura Miko. Daniel Barger will start 11th, and Emiko made 10-11 for Hoshimachi Suisei. Thomas Ferreira, who didn't perform very well in the Split A race, will start 12th for Fuwa. Muhammad Kashi 13th for Watami, and Azurit 14th for Mori Calliope. Hoshizuna Rio 15th for Nakiri Ayame, with Fumi 16th for Sora. Goyana will start starting 17th for Pekora, with Lorenzo Ricci 18th for Marine. Cal Gibbons 19th for Roboco, with Hinochi Taiyo 20th for Hoshinova Muna. Corey Mendes 21st for Takanashi Kiara, with 22nd going to Javier Lusby for Vesha Zeta. Shasen Reza will start 23rd for Koseki Biji, with Joshua Sahi 24th for Hakui Koyori. The Tamayuki Aoki will race for Takane Lui in 25th. And then Jeff Rohan for Tokoyami Toa in 26th. Rem Olgor 27 for Ozora Subaru, with Liam Kai 28th for Haku's Bales. At least that's what I'm seeing. Never mind. Ryan Kagawa 29th for Nerissa Ravencroft. Don Elise 30th. And Altson Tanra rounds out the field for Nekamata Kayu. Now with that being said, we are not going to be wasting a lot of time here. So we are just going to get into the session screen here. And with that being said, we got 22 laps of racing underway. Just wanted to check out if everything is okay. Everything is all good. We got Shakib Reza lining up at the start alongside Jake Goodwin alongside him. The 31 cars ready to start here for the creators race of the Colorized Harmony Fuji 5 hours. And we're to go for the 22 lap race. Shakib Reza having a very good start there. And now Jake Goodwin is going to try to make a move down the inside. He is going to probably go alongside, but he's not being beaten by Nichi Michan. Lots of drivers now trying to go at it at the exit of turn 1, and now coming into Coca-Cola corner. I don't think there will be any incidents to report as sparks fly on that Jake Goodwin car, and he goes off the track. And it's now going to be Shakir Reza leading, Nichi Michan second, Goodwin third, Salman fourth, Evans fourth now, actually. Going side by side with Christoph Salman, Sobyong-eun 6, Lexi Bowen 7, Miyuki 8, Jensen 9, and Barger rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, so fairly clean start. A couple of people going wide, some off tracks here and there. Lots sparks flying, but they're still going side by side here, but still keeping it clean. No major contact, I guess we could see from the back either. So I think the back has made it through all right. So WK heading into the technical sector 3 session as we're cycling through the other drivers right now. Still fairly clean. Nothing too dramatic, just getting themselves settled down. Obviously they've got to settle themselves down quickly. There's not really a long race to sort yourself out.
Jensen and Barker going side by side there, going through Net's corner. It looks like Jensen's managed to hold off the attack from Barker for now, but has created a bit of a gap between himself and Miyuki. Further up, Shaka Reds are getting a very, very good start. We'll take a look on board now with Richie going behind Tayo here. Looks like it's a lot of cars in this field. Of course, we've got nearly 30 cars here, so of course it's going to be plenty, but looks like might see some moves going into turn 1 at Daiichi, and up the inside goes Richie. Can't do anything about it on Tayo on this occasion, but on the exit. Looks like might get a better run. We'll have a look in the background. In fact, this is Rio here, my bad. It gets very, very wide. So this is battle with Fumi actually, and further back we've got Shazman Redzer going off the road and manages to get back on just ahead of Guyana, and Gibbons is managing to get through on all this as well, up into 21st there by the looks of it.
Yeah, I just also noticed there actually Javier Lusby actually going off the track. I noticed that Lusby actually got tagged there and nearly got that car into a spin, but managed to survive, managed to keep the car pointed in the right direction, even at 100R. I mean, you gotta applaud Evans for his car control. I mean, if we going back into Dan Evans's background here, he's just your fellow Aussie dude about motorsport. He loves the 70s supercars and all that stuff, 70s Aussie touring cars. He loves the vibe around Bathurst. He loves the vibe around, I believe. But whatever the case here, he has been using his talent that he has technically honed here while driving 70s touring cars to great effect here.
Yeah, I imagine with 70s touring cars, they're a lot more sleepy. There's a bit more thrashing at the wheel. It's not like these high downforce holotypes now. So you learn a lot about car control, and you obviously can apply that to other cars as well. As we look into the first corner, some moves still being made here. Like most of the field seem to have settled down, but still some jostling for positions here. Too wide heading into Coca-Cola corner. Bit squirrely there. I forces the F car a bit wide, but still holding on to the inside, still side by side for 100R.
Gibbons and Lisby battling it out. Lisby manages to get through on the inside of 100R, but into the hairpin. Does solidify it on the exit, so Lisby up ahead now of Gibbons, up into 21st position. There's been plenty of jostling, as you said, as we see now. Elgor up the inside of Asahi, manages to get it done into Dunlop, can hold it on the exit. It's going to be very, very tight as we come up towards turn 13, and they're still side by side. Looks like Asahi's going to get it back on the exit of 14 and 15.
Yeah, just not feeling Ajimaru there for Rim Olgor, rising the Ozora Subaru number 48. Looking into the rest of the field here, we are focusing a lot here on the drivers at the back. Just want to remind everyone of the current situation here. Tamio Okiaki running 26, Lim Kai 27. We might be seeing some slipstream battles here coming up. Rohan 28, Kagawa 29. Yeah, they're having pretty lonely races here. Don Elise in 30th, Alonso and Tanarao way back in 31st here after a irregularity in the session here. As Tanarao goes down the inside of Don Elise there. Mogu Mogu against Zom Zom. I'm not sure how it works here for Oli. But Alonso and Tanarao, ooh, really still going side by side with a very good exit though from turn 1. Going around the outside of the Coca-Cola corner into 100R. Antero might just be able to hang around, but it will be Don Elise who's able to defend.
Yeah, it just seems with the side-by-side battles we're seeing through Coca-Cola corner, those on the outside seem to be at a disadvantage to just get offline, get their marbles on the tyres and just go out wide. Sometimes they can hold it through the inside at 100R and keep on battling, but it's a very delicate section there.
Yeah, definitely not easy to go around the outside with the I guess you get the marbles, but also getting on that curb in the entry of Coca-Cola corner seems to really unsettle the cars. You saw a lot of sparks on the opening lap, and even then still when there's drivers going side by side through there, you can see just how much the car bottoms out through there. Is they're getting to see some really good lap times. Drivers at the front of the field are setting those mid-30s, and then as the gap sort of expanded, sort of those low to mid-31s that we're seeing from the rest of the field. But at the moment out front, Shaka Fredza has a 1.3 second gap to Michelin behind us. Here is Elgor going up the inside into turn 1 on Asahi, and we'll see if they're able to hold it through here. Still side by side, going down towards Coca-Cola corner. Elgor on the outside. We'll see some sparks on the curb, and we'll probably get unsettled on the exit. And that should see Asahi hold on. No, they're still going side by side. and it looks like Elgor will have the better line going through 100R. Can Asagi hold on to it? I don't think so. So Elgor up in the 23rd.
Yeah, very good control. They've been able to maintain the inside line through to 100R. So as we said, like, it's a bit 50-50. You either go wide, lose the track position, or you're still able to just hold on, and that differentiates their skill levels here and what they're able to do.
Most definitely. Here is around the outside of Richie and manages to get it through on the inside and will hold on to it. So nice move there.
And speaking of which, just wanted to remind everyone also, remember what you see on the bottom right of your screen, the whole colorized harmony logo and all that stuff. There's a QR code in the bottom right of your screen if you want to know more information about the Six Fest and the Expo. Of course, if you live outside of Japan, you're mostly going to be thinking about just getting, or possibly getting the streaming ticket for the creators stage and stage 3, which is basically the inspiration for the creators race and split T here in ARO competitions, as Danilo Goyena and Muhammad Shazad Reza go toe-to-toe, as Shazad Reza now goes up into 19th place. But anyways, but the point still stands. If you want to know more about the Fest and the Expo, or if you want to get some tickets to watch the streams and all that stuff, scan the QR code in the bottom right of your screen, and it's coming up now. You will know more info when you get there. But anyways, back onto the racing scene here. I'll be talking about a bit more of a Holotype aspect here in terms of some of the entries here. So right now, if you want to talk about drivers who have had very torrid luck here, look no further than Alton Tannerau, especially in the last Holo GT3 season. Scored no points in the qualifiers event, so that means he finished outside the top 30 in all 4 of the qualified races. Two of the races that happened to qualify were a self-inflicted issue, where I believe it was a spin in Sportsline Sugo and a spin in Fuji. But 2 of the other races, especially in Okayama, where Altanara has a chance to perform pretty well as he was running in midfield, he got tagged and got spun out coming into pit lane. And in Okayama, he started at the back, and he was caught in a lap 2 melee on the start-finish line that took out more than 3 or 4 cars. So Alton Tannerau may not have the luck in Holo GT3, but at least he has been improving in recent years. Although he didn't qualify for the CEO in this 24-25 Holo GT3 season, at least he's looking to try to make amends here in both Formula Holotype and especially Holotype.
Yeah, obviously a very different category of cars to get used to. May find more favour in the more high downforce cars, but still seem a bit lonely here, a bit at the back at the moment. At the bottom 2, they're a bit lonely at the moment. So I think that's like the highest gap you can see between the battle packs. So they just run their own race at this point. As we look at the rest of the field, I believe I saw, with the fastest lap so far, I believe it was a 30.1, so we might see a 29 on race pace as the fuel load goes down.
Yeah, it does seem like the drivers and cars are getting faster and faster and faster, but yeah, Bowen seems to have really put the foot down, really opened that gap to Miyuki. He was under a lot of pressure earlier, and now 6 seconds back to Miyuki. So really settling herself into a potential fight for the podium as we see the lap times coming across. Yeah, the top 7 all doing high 30s to low 31s. And then yeah, seems Miyuki, Jensen, and Barger are all getting involved in some big battles because yeah, 32s and 33s from those drivers.
Yeah, a bit of a slipstream train here into the first corner of Potato, going into turn 1, hard braking, holds the inside, a little bit squirrely on the exit. I think they're still side by side, clips the grass, so I think just gonna make it before Coca-Cola corner, so can take the regular racing line and hold position.
Yeah, it was a textbook move into turn 1, got a little bit squirrely on the exit as you mentioned, but managed to have enough speed and positional authority over the next corner of turn 2 to be able to get it done before moving into Coca-Cola, as Gibbons is now under a bit of pressure here from Elgor, who's been making some moves in this race. Will Elgor have a look into Dunlop corner? Doesn't look like it, so they'll hold station for now.
So right now, Rim Olgor, known for his performances, especially in Holotype GT3, where he grabbed 3 wins last season for Ozora Subaru, was on the hunt for the title before he basically scored outside the points in the final 2 races, or rather, he didn't score in the penultimate round, and at Suzuka, he basically didn't have enough points to overhaul Southern Reza's late stage comeback for Southern Reza to win the 2024 Japan Series. But and then also in Formula Hala, he did win the season opener in Sepang last year. But ever since then, he's been pretty mired in the mid-pack. And there's some battles here further up front here. We saw some crazy side-by-side action here between the 25 and 35. That is Thomas Ferreira, now currently running in 12. Mikolev now down in 13th. I mean, talk about, at the very least, some semblance of a basically consolation here, as he's now up to 12. But now we see, though, Sven Jensen and Mohamed Cashew now going toe-to-toe between each other. The Iris and the Sonomaki Watame car going side by side into the hairpin corner. And it looks to me that Cashew might just have the better exit, but Sven Jensen is still chasing.
Jensen just didn't really hook it up into corner entry. You could see a bit unstable in the rear end. Now heading into Dunlop. Not really going to make the move there, so just probably got to settle back behind and hope for a slipstream on the main straight.
Yeah, maybe did just make a little bit of an error going through the through turn 11 there, as we saw yeah, just a bit too much grass mid corner. Compromised the exits going through turn 12 as we look at the front. Shaka Fredson set the fast lap on the previous lap before this with a 30 flats, so getting even closer to those 29s as we look on board with Bowen there in P7 just behind battle between Goodwin, Byung-yun and Sawaman. So they're all fairly close out there from 3rd down to 7th, and there's quite the gap down to Miyuki in P8 where there's a really good gaggle of cars.
So right now, I am just going to point out a fun fact here for everyone to note. So in the series, in any of the ARO series' inaugural debuts, like the debut race for the series here. So if you remember back in 2022, Cal Gibbons was driving the Ozora Subaru number 48 Lexus in the first race of the 2022 season, which it was the inaugural race of the 2022 season. It was Fuji Split A Race 1 back in March, and on that race, it was Callan Gibbons who scored the first win in Holotype GT3. Then fast forward into 2023, by which Callan Gibbons now transferred into the number 64 Roboco car. It would essentially take the reins and take the checkered flag first in the Split A race in the Our Bright Parade Grand Prix Split A race. And then, of course, in Holotype, I'm not sure if you want to count the Creators race or not, because this is actually Gibbons' debut race in the Holotype series. Whether or not you want to count points-paying races or not, Gibbons currently running in like the bottom outside the top 20 is something to look forward to. But if you don't count these races, these non-points-paying races, I think it's fine so far. At least you get to know about the car.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, very different type of car. So obviously GT's some downforce, but you rely mainly on mechanical grip to get you around. As we look at Mosby going down the inside as well. Not the greatest exits. I think they're going to go side by side again. I was going to talk about Holotypes and GTs, but there's still a lot of action here. So I'm going to talk about that. That is not the ideal line. That is
That was
yeah, that was very messy though.
Oh, come on. No.
no.
I jinxed myself. I'm just gonna hide in corner now.
Alright, so that was a very messy there. We haven't seen any massive crashes in the Holotype until today. Until now, we saw Javier Lusby going out very wide into basically the grass there, coming to the Coca-Cola corner, and essentially sent himself out off of the track. And as he tried to rejoin, Cal Gibbons was the unfortunate victim there. But then again, There's still plenty of time before the split C race, and it doesn't look like Gibbons has hit the wall. So if we want to talk about IRL maintenance work, I'd say that there should be enough time for Gibbons to essentially get that car back in line.
Yeah, like looks like a side-on impact there. So probably obviously a lot of aero damage, some suspension damage as well. As long as the chassis isn't too damaged, can get back out there for the race.
It does look like you've managed to get back out there, but you did have to return to pit lane. So yeah, definitely not ideal. But we did see Shaka Vredza with a blistering lap time at 29.6. and has opened up that lead to 4.5 seconds. So really exuding some dominance over the field right now as we just passed halfway mark. But yeah, it was just with that incident before, it was just a little wide going into Coca-Cola corner, and that a bit on the grass, and that really unsettled the car going wide, and then just not really taking any regard for the cars behind on the rejoin, and straight back on and straight into Callum Gibbons, and really unfortunate circumstances there.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Just sort of rejoined perpendicular to the track. So Stuart will have a look at that, but that doesn't really nothing will really help my race at the moment. So we'll just have to probably pack it up and hopefully hope for the best in the next race. But as we look at the rest of the field, as I said, Jacob Redza in the lead, still running his own race at the moment. 4.8 seconds gap, nearly exceeding that 5-second margin, so not really under any threat whatsoever. Saw the 30.1 before for fastest lap. I don't believe, or I think 30 flat it was. I don't think there's been an improvement on that lap into the 29s. Actually, never mind.
Yeah, so Shaka Fredza set a 29.6 previously, and on that lap we had Aoki set the 29.6. So a few drivers are really starting to show some good pace.
Yeah. Also, just a bit of a fun fact, Shakib Reza, last time he won in Fuji Speedway was also back in 2022, back when he also double dutied for Roboco, and also at that time Momosuzu Nene. So not exactly Momosuzu Nene, I think he only raced for Roboco that time. So before he transferred to Momosuzu Nene number 77, he did race in the Roboco number 64 for a brief period in the start of the 2022 Holotype 3 season. So the story goes for Shakib Reza was that he was driving the Lexus RCF to pilot that number 64 to a win in Fuji, and of course since then he hasn't been able to find any more wins in Hall GT3 despite him being in the number 77 Nissan. And if you want to take a look into his Formula Hall Life form, he also has been very, very good. I mean, if you look at his record here, he has already won 3 races. He won 2 in 2023 and then won 1 more last year. And right now he is poised to be one of the at least serviceable mid-pack drivers for the Gen 5 and Momosuzu Nene. And also, just wanted to give everyone a bit of a Hall Life info there, as now we get to see Daniel Barger, the shooting star representing Hoshimachi Suisei, now under pressure from, it's like contact there between himself and Momo Cashew on that Watami number 3. Now he's under pressure though from Thomas Ferreira in the 4 number 25.
It's all momentum there with that contact going from side-by-side again at Coca-Cola. They both hold it on track this time, so no bad rejoins here. Still holding it through 100. Ferreira going down the inside, trying to hold that inside line a little bit squirrely on entry, just cannot hold it there.
Yeah, good side-by-side action, still side-by-side as they head down towards Dunlop corner, but Ferreira on the outside can be at a slight disadvantage, but breaks later and will now have the inside for turn 11. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. So great move from Thomas Ferreira.
Yeah, very good move indeed. I'm just looking through the rest of the pack here. There's not really too much side-by-side happening through sector 3. There's not too many places to overtake, so they're just settling down, getting ready for the main straight again. It's a big slipstream train here. It's a pretty big battle pack here, so I think still 3rd to 7th was still in their own pack, and then 11 seconds down there's another pack there. So as you look at Cashew right behind Miyuki in that slipstream, Heading into turn 1, dives to the right hand side, going to try the inside line. Not really a squeeze there, still gets squeezed to the middle of the track, but still holding the inside line, takes the corner tidily. No contact there, very good move.
And speaking of which, Cal Gibbons is still running on track despite having a pretty damaged car. There was some slight contact, and it looks to me that the suspension damage is just about negligible. And the crews are essentially telling Gibbons to just keep on going on that number 64. They probably need a lot of the telemetry and data that they need, even if the car is now pretty scuffed and is now 1 minute 10 seconds behind Don Elise, who's currently running in 30th. So at this point, for Gibbons, now just a glorified test session. But as for the rest of the field, they still have something to fight for. But as for the race for the win, it's almost done and dusted for Shakib Reza, who now have a 7.6 second gap, almost insurmountable at this point, even if Mitchell were to set basically a second of a lap faster than Shakib Reza in the remaining laps.
Yeah, so barring any major mistakes, obviously it's not over until it's over. You finish first, you first have to finish. But still, I'm just sitting tight there, probably not going to take too many risks here, just wants to hold that margin. And that margin is still increasing lap by lap. We're already nearly over 8 seconds the margin, so helping around 7.8, 7.9 seconds, so very commanding lead indeed.
Michelin sort of forward into the grasp of Evan Salman and Byung-Yun there as well. Goodwin a little bit further back, but has been seeing some really good lap times as we see Shazwan Reza up the inside of Rio there and manages to get it done into turn 1. Great move.
Yeah,
looks like Elgor 2 is going to try around the outside Coca-Cola corner. This can end very poorly, but manages to get the line pretty much right, but goes wide. Still side by side, so manages to hold the inside going to 100R. We've seen drivers going side by side. So here Tayo nearly turning in there on Guyana, but manages to avoid contact. That was very close to a disaster, as it looks like Elgor has managed to get through on Rio now.
Yeah, just going offline there again, off the ideal racing line play, just lost all grip there and just understeered off nearly off the track as loses the position again, or tries to hold the inside again, but a bit of a scruffy lap here, and as it continues side by side, Lusby still looking on the inside, now turning to the outside, just can't quite hold there, so we'll have to tuck back in behind on the front straight.
Yes indeed, yeah, once you get around to turn 14, turn 15, it becomes very, very hard to stay side by side on the suboptimal line, so makes sense seeing that move turn into a bit of a single file, but yeah, there was some good moves on that last lap and some good avoidance too for a few drivers. As we look now at Fumi up the inside here of Azarid, all gets very squirrely, so that move not successfully completed and might put him under pressure from Richie behind.
Yeah, I also noticed that, just wanted to double check. There was slight contact though between Fumi and Richie. When you saw how they both approached turn 1, and I noticed that there was some kind of banging between the two. And of course, Azurid did stay true to his line there around the outside and basically put Fumi in a slightly compromising position. And of course, they made contact. Fumi was worse off. But now it's Azurid representing the Grim Reaper Mori Calliope, who is also a streamer, now up into 14th place with about 6 laps to go here in the Colorized Harmony Fuji 5 hours creators race. Obviously not counting towards points, so everyone is just having fun. But anyways, just to double check everyone about the whole plug on that thing. Remember to scan the QR code if you want to know more about the Six Fest and the Expo, and also the ticketing for the streams. But anyways, back onto the track. It's been a very commanding lead there for Shakib Reza, who may have a lonely race at the moment, but at the very least, as far as the sibling battle is concerned, Shakib Reza has the advantage on points because he finished farther ahead than Shakib Reza in Split A. But Shakib Reza at least wants to have some sort of last laugh, even if it's not in a points race.
Yeah, so still a very commanding lead here, has now exceeded the 8-second margin, so as mentioned before, barring any major mistakes, probably done and dusted there, but obviously Still some laps to go, still got to keep it on the track. As we look at the rest of the field, I think towards the back we look at Richard here that, yep, little battle pack going on here with Shazwan Redza, who goes very wide, just a bit of door banging against Elgor, tries to hold the inside defender position. I think a little bit more contact there, so a bit scruffy for 100R, again getting off that optimal racing line and another position in the process. Still going to try to hold it around the outside into Dunlop, but probably not manages to just hold it, so holds it on the inside, but still can't get the move done. Elgor clobbers the curb, and I think that is going to be that for this sector.
Yeah, manages to solidify that move. It was very opportunistic with Shazwan Redza making the mistake, but yeah, managed to hold on to it even with how busy it was, as Kashu sets fast lap with a 29.5. Since getting past Miyuki, he's been absolutely flying. Probably won't quite have enough time to catch Bowen there in P7, but still setting some very, very impressive lap times, as we now see. Oh, that's very tight there with Richie, and this is going to be tied into turn 1. They're all kind of converging on one another, and they've managed to survive through here. Richie's going to potentially make 2 moves here. One on Fumi, one on Azura, and Azura has the inside still, and Richie does go a little bit wide, but has the inside now. Going into 100R, but is just losing out on momentum.
Yeah, just lost it out there, I think. Went completely off the track as well, so made the overtake. Probably wouldn't have been a legal one, but still try and hit into 300R, still side by side. Going to try to hold the inside line into Dunlop. We've seen the inside line into Dunlop. It's not always a done deal there. They seem to be able to still go side by side for it. Obviously very tight in there. And still, yeah, still side by side there. So it seems to be a bit of a theme. Like Dunlop getting on the inside is not really a done deal. So you sort of go side by side through 11, 12. But once you get past turn 13, they sort of settle down. So look at Rihanna here. I think not. Yeah, again, once again, not really. Actually, okay, a bit slow through the sector 3, so probably got compromised early on and just hasn't got the momentum at all in this section. So we need to lock back in, back on the slipstream trains. We're right on board with Mendez. Yeah, we've got a couple of side-by-side battle packs here and a bit of slipstreaming going on. So a lot of anticipation for turn 1.
Indeed, as we watch Rowan up the inside. Going into turn 1 on high. Can he get it done? That's the question. It seems like he's in the best position to do so. And Will, as Mendez is also having a fight. Lisby falling behind a little bit there. As we see side by side between Miyuki. Miyuki has not had as is Mikolev. Very wide there, very loose as well. Manages to hold on to it just as side by side now. Richie looking to get up into unlucky P13. Shazwan Redza can only watch on in the background.
Yeah, almost potentially our second major incident in this race, but manages to just hold it on. It looks like no damage done. We shall continue on as we are on. Look at going out. Oh, it takes a lot of curb there. It was a very optimistic move, but makes it stick.
And speaking of which, just wanted to check on the rest of the field. Shakib Reza now on lap 21 on the penultimate lap of the Colorize Harmony Fuji 5 Hours Creators Race. Shakib Reza currently in command with 10 seconds, as we've seen here multiple times here. Again, it's not over until you cross the checker flag, and it ain't over until the fat lady sings. And with that being said, Shakib Reza can have multiple reasons to just chill. I mean, he only has over 1.5 laps of this race here, and for the entire weekend left before he can finally take a break here. Shakib Reza absolutely doing a commendable job here in the creators race, coming into the final lap, just absolutely killing it, converting that pole into a race win. I don't think he has fastest lap because Casio, I believe, holds it. So a Grand Slam is out of reach unless Shakib Reza can pull a rabbit out of his hat and score fastest lap in the final lap. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I said, heading into the final lap. Maybe with that low field could go for fastest lap, but just needs to keep it on track for that win as we look down the rest of the field. Goyena, but too far back to make a move here, so not really any opportunities here. Yeah, if it's a bit single file through these sections, I think, tail end of the race, people are just a bit settled a bit. They might go for those final lap dramatic moves, but for now, I think they just want to make it back into one piece.
Looking at the positional movements, Elgor with the most positions gained with 10. That is a brilliant effort from Rim Elgor, up to 17th. And on that list, the one driving with the most positions lost is Rio, although I have a feeling Gibbons will probably top that right at the back of the field after that unfortunate incident that we saw earlier on. And yeah, there you go, down 12 positions. So
and speaking of which, we'd like to welcome Mama Shakib Reza home, as he only has about this final sector for him to deal with. In the sibling battle, he's always been overshadowed by his brother Shazrin Reza in terms of wins and titles and all that stuff. But sometimes he would like to have a time in his own spotlight here. As he now rounds out the final corner here, Mama Shakib Reza will be in line to take a very commanding win here in Fuji, as he will cross the checkered flag in first, and as he will be the official winner of the Colorized Harmony Fuji 5 Hours Creators Race.
Yes, very commanding win. Had no issue at all, under no threat, it seems, for anyone as we go to the rest of the field. So if we have Mission in P2 and Evans in P3 rounding out the podium, as we look at the final stragglers making for the last top 10 positions.
Yeah, Salman in P4, Byung-Yun P5, then Goodwin 6, Bowen 7th, Kashui 8th. Will be tight for 9th and 10th, but looks like Ferreira will hold on to 9th from Barger, and then Jensen just outside the top 10 there. Then Miyuki and a few drivers just swapping around. We'll see once it settles. Mikolev's 13th, Richie 14th, and Azarid in 15th.
And with that
So there we go,
said,
that is the race done.
And speaking of which, that will be the race officially concluded. So we are just going to be checking into the drivers who have finished this race. Shakir Reza, congratulations to the younger of the Reza siblings. Again, this is a very interesting parallel to talk about. In 2022, in Holotype GT3, it was Shakir Reza who won before his brother. So again, history has repeated itself here in Fuji, but it rhymes as well. So congratulations to Shakir Reza for winning here in Fuji. Niji Michan caps off an amazing weekend for Mokoko Bisgard and for the Fuomoko twins in general, as he finishes second for Mokoko. Dan Evans makes it a JPENID podium finish, as Evans finishes third for Irony of 15. Crystal Salman 4 for ASCII, and then with Sobyang in 5th for Shiranui Flair. Jack Goodwin 6 for Okami Miyo, with Lexi Bowen finishing 7th for Shiragane Noel. Mama Cashew 8 for Tsunamaki Watame. 9th place goes to the other twin of the Fuomoko, Fuowa Biscard, driven by Thomas Ferreira in 9th. Daniel Bog runs out of top 10 for Hoshimaki Suisei. Sven Jensen 11 for Iris, with Hanari Miyuki 12 for Kobo Kanaero. Isakaji Mikolev 13 for Sakuramiko, with 14th Lorenzo Ricci for Hosho Marine. Joshua Zuri finishes 5th for Mori Calliope, with Hofumi 16th for Toki Nosora. Rim Olgor 17th for Ozora Subaru. And then Marcel Reza having a pretty decent race in 18th for Koseki Biju. And then we have Sara Pekora as Daniel Goyan in 19th, with 20th place Tomoyuki Aoki for Takani Loi. 21st is Shinoshi Tayo for Hoshidova Muna, with Hoshizano Rio 22nd for Nanakiri Ayame. Koirika Mendes 23rd for Takanashi Kiara, with Javier Lusby 24th for Vesta Zeta. Jeff Rohan 25th for Tokoyami To, with Liam Kai 26th for Hakos Bales. Starting at the back though, but manages to make a comeback slightly in 27th. Out Santana for Nekomata Kayu. And then Joshua Sahi 28th for Hakui Koyori. Ryan Kagawa in 29th for Nerissa Ravencroft, with 30th place Don Elise driving car number 13 for Craig Gioli. And rounding out the field, of course, is the unfortunate Calum Gibbons there, who was collected in that incident with Javier Lusby. So that being said, I am just going to save the replay first and look into the crash once again, as this is actually the first crash in Holotype that I can actually report. So with that being said, I'm just going to scroll to the field once again just to see where everyone ends up. So okay, so this is where the incident essentially takes place here. So I'm just gonna move into this part. So we get to see Harvey Loosbees is offing. So let's check the replay once again, see how it goes from here.
Yeah, so going into turn 1 on the inside. Not the greatest exit there, clips the grass a bit, so trying to hold the outside for a corner. Lost sparks on the grass there as well, so my car's just cursed.
Yeah, it's bottomed out on the outside curb there, so couldn't actually turn in, and being on the grass as well, lost a lot of traction, so trying to come back onto the track and redirect it, just couldn't control it, very, very loose, and you see here, you can see it is basically just perpendicular, and nothing Gibbons can do about that. You cannot react to that, plain and simple, and that was pretty much race done from there for Gibbons.
And with that being said, I am just going to officially end the stream right here, as I'm just going to double check on the replay, make sure everything is safe. So with the results now officially announced, we are just going to end the stream pretty early here, as we're about to get the Split C stream in an hour's time. Now that being said, I'm just going to plug everyone about one of the concerts coming up here, specifically the creator stage, on which it serves as the basis for the creators race. Of course, we have the original content from the Hololive members, basically all of their engaging songs here, like for example Mogumagi Muyami from Okayu, and then Holohawk for Takani Louie, and of course Kira Kira fan meeting from Osuzu Nene from the winning driver Muhammad Shakif Reza. And then there's also Soiri for Hoshimachi Suisei and all that stuff. Iwakibani for Osara Pekora. So anyways, if you do want to know more about the creator stage and all that stuff, there's always the QR code in the bottom right of your screen. You can scan it for more information and streaming tickets and all that stuff. And with that, speaking of which, Shiragani Noel in the bottom left of the screen. Yeah, someone's going to get pretty interested on that one. But anyways, with that being said, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the stream. Alongside myself is Mama Shadin Reza, is Alexi Bowen, and Callum Gibbons at the commentary booth. We'll see you in an hour's time for the Split series. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned on this channel. We'll see you next time. All right.